In Montana, weather can change in an instant. You also have to make sure they seal correctly. I'm starting to get the hang of it again. After a couple corners, I feel like I'm understanding the drill, and it definitely was not as complicated or scary getting back in this driver's seat as it was the first time I had done my seating lessons and the first time I was driving the drill by myself. Sort of like riding a bicycle. You never forget, but you do need a little refresher course, which Dad was able to give to me. Oh, there's the drone. Actually, I only think there's about 1.5 passes left. It's hard to tell. It looks closer together here, but at the end it looks a little wider. So I'm coming close to my corner now, and I'm starting to think about the maneuvers that I'll have to do to turn the drill around and get it back on its guidance line. So now I watch my head well on the screen and out the back, because once I see it's passed on my implements past the head well on the screen, I look back, make sure, pull my drill up, turn around, line back up to my guidance pass, hit guidance. Ooh, that wasn't the best lineup. Put my drill in once it's headed straight, make sure to turn my hydraulic off, and everything's going good again. So now I'm still seating. There's a small rock here, so I'll just turn my seat. Well, actually this seat's hard to turn, and watch it go through the drill. That didn't seem to be an issue. Ooh, Darcy's coming back up now. This is pretty cool. There's not going to be much left at all. I wonder if one of us is going to have to cut out. Air tank sensor communication error. It looks like there's going to be enough room between us. I'm just not sure. It's barely. There's going to be another half pass left, I think. So I'm just keeping my radio closed just in case I need to turn out of the field. I should be good, but boy, is it close. Oh my goodness, that is cool. Maybe like 15 feet. That's crazy. So Darcy will get that pass coming down and I'll be finished here. So I'm gonna make sure I drive in our field. One of my wheels went into the neighbor's field just slightly, but not hardly at all. I've learned that last dip in the field, kind of on the top of the hill before you get to the straw pile that's burning, that's where I'm going to stop. Thank you. Clutch, brake, park. Does this work?
That's good.
Radioed and said I could fold my wings up if I know how to do that. So I just hit this hydraulic here and my wings are starting to fold up very slowly, I might add. The left side of the drill's wings are folding up a lot faster than the right side, so that's kind of weird. Although there's so much weight there, my dad was telling me.
Sometimes you gotta rev that up a little bit, Kate, and take the fan out so they ain't pumping all that fluid.
Oh, I didn't have it revved up. And now I'm revving it up. That was a very good
Turn
point.
the fan off, Kate.
So now I just turned the fan off. Seems to be moving a little bit faster. There is so much weight on those carry wheels. It is insane. And the carry wheels are the ones, the travel wheels that, there is so much weight on those travel wheels. It's insane. So now that it's fully up, I'm going to turn that hydraulic off.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, right around here. Just look, take one quick look. Yeah, it looks like I got everything. I think we'll just fold that and go over to that other piece, you know what I mean? Make the first round if we got enough stuff. Oh yeah, you're gonna skip the 3 round,
It's hailing outside. I wish it was a wet snow so we could get some moisture.
Mark, was you talking about the piece over the hill ahead here? Yeah, that piece, you know, with the big water hole in it, you know what I mean? On the south side of the travel pit with the big hill.
We only get about 12 to 13 inches of complete moisture in Montana per year. So that includes moisture from snow and rainfall, which is not a lot at all, and that's why we have such a tough time with drought and growing crops. So when we say we've gotten no moisture, we really mean it. Darcy's now folding up his drill.
See over the hill when he gets going. We'll drive up the road, by the way, too.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to follow Darcy up the hill. My first time ever moving the drill by myself. Very intimidating, but really exciting also. So now Darcy's headed up the road. So let's see, brake, clutch, put it in drive. I'll let him go a little bit further and then I'll start going. So I'm going to drive onto the road here. Slow down maybe a little bit for this because these travel wheels carry a lot of weight. So you really have to watch them when moving. I can't believe I'm really doing this. This is so awesome. You really have to drive straight because there's no extra room on these roads. And now I'm in gear 9.
Then keep lifting the plow out every now and then, you know, to make sure it isn't settling.
Oh, it did settle a little bit down, so I take my first hydraulic and lift it up every now and then. Gosh, this is a big hill coming up. I really have to drive straight. So I remember harvesting this field right next to me, and also this field, which was what Darcy was talking about when he said the gravel pit, because it used to be an old gravel pit. So I'm not sure if what field we're going to next. Still driving on the really narrow road. Oh, so we must be seeding this field down here. I have to be really careful with this drill because there are big ditches / coulees on either side of it. Looks like I'm good so far. So Darcy just drove into the field and he's going to put his implement down. So I'll probably drive to the right side of him. Maybe I'll drive to the left side. I don't know. Probably the left side actually. I'll gear down a notch, slow down a bit. There are a lot of rocks in this field, like tons of rocks. So clutch, brake, park, RPM up a little bit, and put it down. Wow, it goes down a lot faster. So now I'm going to spool the boots and go out and check them. That's what Darcy's going to do as well right now. You spool the boots and check to see that seed and fertilizer are coming out before every field and also after every load so that you start off each field seeding properly. Now I have to make sure the full piece of air comes on this notch here, and it looks like it's there. So now I'm going to RPM.
I'll be over there in just a minute, Kate.
1,
what you can do is turn your
2.
fan on.
Oh. Oops, I didn't have my fan on.
And spool that for the count of 3, and then we'll look, make sure, right?
1, 2, 3. So now I just spooled the boots, which means dropped fertilizer and seed out of them. And I'm going to make sure that they're all not plugged. Turn the RPM of my tractor down. So all these are seeding. You also check over your pods. Can't believe the amount of rocks in here. And it looks like I don't have any plugged boots, so that's just fantastic. Now I'm going to head back in the tractor. But then I went back, I forgot to turn then I thought, oh gosh, I hope I didn't plug anything, so I spooled the boots. Forgot to turn the master back on, so I had to go back and, Are we gonna start on a turn kind of like Darcy did?
We start right where he did.
Oh my gosh, there's tons of rocks in this field.
Yes, there is, right?
Oh, they're rolling in that field.
That's because they planted weeds, probably.
So right now we're doing the end passes. That will be the head wall of all the guidance passes. So the hill coming up is really steep, Dad.
Is it? Well, we can't hardly get up with full drills. So sometimes if we show up to this field full, we'll pull this pass here backwards.
Because
the hill's so steep.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Go ahead and go down through there. I gotta pick up a spot there. There was a fence post laying there I could pick up.
Do the rocks ever break the shanks off here?
They break them off wherever.
Do the rocks decrease the chance of the barley being able to grow?
I don't suppose it's going to grow under the rock.
Which way you want me to take the other side and you take this side?
You want to do this east and west or north and south?
It don't matter. We did north and south before, but we can do east and west. It don't really matter.
Why don't we do an east and west, and then I'll leave you up on this end, and Kate will take the south end. Because you got that rock pile, you know.
I can do that. I don't know how much more I can go, but I'll go until I run out.
Yeah, we don't know either. We're just going to run it out. You'd think it has some sort of system in the computer to know where it last seeded and to do guidance, a guidance line that would cover your biggest hole.
If you absolutely want it, you shouldn't even have to be here when you get stuff like that going on, okay?
How many acres do you usually get out of the seed?
160 if you...
Mark, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Yeah, I'm just on the seed, and I called Albertsons, and the pharmacy closes at 4, so I gotta get going if I can get my prescription.
Yeah. Why don't you stop at that end when you get up there, Darcy, and bring my pickup down to this end. I'll give you a ride down to the fuel pickup.
My dad's giving Darcy a ride to his vehicle, so now I am going to make this turn by myself, rev it up a little bit, and move forward. I'm in 8th gear. I'm gonna make my turn now, beat up my RPMs a little bit, and come to my guidance line here. Once I'm lined up with guidance, I'll set it in, and I'm watching the inside of my drill to make sure it's not backing up. And once it's straight, I'll put it in. Now that it's in, I'm good to go. I'm on guidance. Everything's hooked up. I have my fan running. I'm seeding 50 pounds of barley an acre and 100 pounds of fertilizer. So everything is starting to look good. I'm about to come up to the end, so I only have 2 passes here to turn around in, which is pretty tight. So when my dad gets back, we're going to hand drive another one up and another back. So then I'll actually have 4, which will be a lot better. Preferably, I'd like to have at least 3. Usually we only do 2 though. Let's check my acres, which is this little E button. Let's see. I have done 98 acres on my seed tank, and on a full tank it'll go to about 160, but it didn't get full today because we didn't have enough seed. So because it's a Sunday and we can't get more. So I'm not sure how much longer I'll be able to go for. I would say probably another good 30 acres. Now I'll hit my cart icon. I've made it fully through the seeded, so now I have to immediately start my turn, which I'm actually not driving in that guy's field at all. So my dad would be very proud of me on this corner. Now I line perfectly up with guidance, and I'm looking at my inside corner, and I'm going to put the drill in the ground. Seeding again, and I didn't even slow down for that. I was going 5.1 miles an hour. That was a good turn. Now I'm going to see on my monitor if I can tell how many acres I'm seeding per hour. So I'm doing 34 acres an hour. So I maybe have probably another hour in this drill. The sky's been doing some really weird things. We've had super windy days, hail off and on, a little bit of wet snow. So it's really interesting weather happening right now in Montana. But we need moisture. That is so important to this season's crops, and if we don't get any, we probably won't even have a crop to harvest. It hasn't been this bad in many, many, many years. Oh, I think I just saw lightning. My grandpa said that the winter wheat crop is maybe about half there. He drove through one of the fields, so that's just really sad. I really hope it rains. We need this so badly. I mean, this field is bone dry. It looks like there was a burned harrow pile right next to me here. Gosh, I wonder if that was lightning or if I'm just imagining things now. It did look like there was, but I was just turning my head back from here, so it wasn't a dead-on view, so I'm not 100% sure if it was or wasn't lightning. Very possibly, though, because the sky's a lot darker over here. I haven't seen any more though. This head wall has 3 passes, so it's more than enough to turn around in. So that beep was that my tractor's crossed the head wall. Now I'm watching on my screen. My implement has also crossed the head wall. And it's snowing again. That is just super weird weather. So now that I line back up to my guidance pass, I need to click guidance really quickly. Watch the inside of my implement. Now that it's straight, put it down. That was later than I did last time, and I actually had more room to turn around on this side, so I wasn't as closely watching and paying attention to make sure I got it right there. Now the snowing stopped.
Do you want to make that end pass or not? You know how to do it?
Yeah, do you want me to do that now?
Close to that end, or are you headed that way, or what?
Yeah, that's the direction I'm headed right now.
Okay, well, just seed out and then come around on it, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And go up to the other end and then come back.
Okay, sounds good. I'll do that. Thank you. So I'm gonna do my first hand drive I'm going to do my first hand drive end pass by myself without my dad or Uncle Chris, so this is exciting. And it won't be on guidance, so I'll be a true drill operator now. Now it's snowing again, although this snow is a bit wetter, I think, which is very good. It's just lightly snowing though, so I'll be able to finish my tank of seed, I would suspect. So I'm going to drop my implement right now and try and stay this amount away from the side. Now it's up to me to make sure that I don't have any skips at all. So I really have to pay close attention here. Now there's no snow, so it'll be interesting to see what actually ends up happening with the weather. Now once I pass my head wall, which it doesn't show me on here because this last pass was Darcy, I'll make a turn. I'll teardrop this way a little bit and make my turn to come back around. And I'll do one more pass headed south, and then I'll go back to my east-west passes. So I'll head back to the west side of the field. It's hard because you don't have guidance here to hook up to. I'm looking for my guidance line and I'm like, where is it? But I don't actually have it. So I'm gonna drop my drill and implement it in now. I'm gonna line up to what I think straight's going to be. I didn't drive in a super straight line here. So, oh gosh, this side's actually a bit harder for me. Oh my goodness, I thought I was driving really straight. Gosh, I guess I wasn't. I don't know that I would have been good at farming in the olden days without auto steer. I bet I had a heart attack when I look at my screen and I didn't see the green circle with the letter A because that means it's auto steer, but then I remember I'm actually driving the tractor.
Working out for you, Kate?
Yeah, it's working very well. I'm having a much harder time headed south than I was headed north, but everything's going fine. It's interesting how when I was with my dad in the tractor, you don't notice the difference of which side you're better at, but now I see it so clearly that the right side is a lot better for me, and that's probably why my dad seeds around the rock pile on the right side and specifically make sure to do that. I'm at 125.5 acres on my seed tank. Do you think I go another round?
Mean another pass? Or...
Well, yeah, pass, but I wouldn't want to run out of seed on that end of the field.
Yeah, but there's no way to know, Kate. We'll just keep an eye on that bar. If you drive for one more pass, and if that bar clears out, then just stop, lift up, you know.
Okay, sounds good. Going to slow down a little bit. I've now passed my head wall. Slow down a lot, clutch, brake, shut the fan off, put it in park, and the fan is now off. Yeah, that's what I guess that's what I mean.
Let's go up and look in this tank, that way you know too.
So now we're gonna head outside and look in the air tank to see how much is left. Because this is an air seeder, they have pressurized tanks, which is why I have the fan running all the time when I'm seeding, and you have to turn it off to look in the tanks because they are pressurized. You also have to make sure they seal correctly, like down and back.
Yes.
Do we cut it that close though?
Yeah, we do one more pass.
In Montana, weather can change in an instant.
It does. It has. This is about the third snowstorm we've had today, Kate.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. It snows and then stops snowing and then snows again. So the ground looks a little bit white and you can see all of the snow turn into raindrops on the window. This is the tank, how much we have left in the tank. So we'll barely make it back if we do. Well, we are officially out of seed and fertilizer, right, Dad?
Right.
So, thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe to learn a little bit more about how your food gets to your table. You can also follow Kate's Egg on Instagram, KATES_AG, and on TikTok, Facebook, and Pinterest. Or visit the Kate's Egg website, KATESAG.com. Thank you very much for the lesson, Dad. I had a great time.
Right. Okay.
Okay, bye!